I think I chose for Nothing Matters, hashtag Nothing Matters, the EP. I think that the idea of making sort of like footprints in the digital virtual world is interesting, and that's sort of what hashtags are. They're like these footprints. They're like these little, you know, like little DNA marks almost, but that are like permanent in a sense. They're interesting, and anybody can make one, and they can be as viable or as helpful as they are. And it's sort of, they're like a little handle that already exists. You know, a hashtag generally is something that already exists, like a phrase or a saying that already exists, but then it's like re-embodied into this really poignant little sort of button that you can push that leads to, you know, everybody else's sort of utterances of that phrase in a sense, or how they relate to it. And I think that that's interesting, and I think that nothing matters is sometimes a feeling that a lot of people have, you know, just in the grind, just in the toil with everything going on in the world. Sometimes you just feel like, well, not a goddamn thing matters, nothing matters, you know. And so I think that people feel that way, and then it's like putting a hashtag on it was just sort of natural, because it was just a natural hashtag I made on Twitter. Just like fucking hashtag Nothing Matters. And it was received well, just the hashtag itself. Like when I tweeted it, like people, you know, you get that, you know, there's this sort of like, not meaninglessness, but this sort of like, there's like, as far as what matters, like things that affect this world and that are timeless, you know, and affect us, you know, it's hard to really say what matters, and sometimes it feels like nothing matters in the grand scope of things. But so that's what's up with that.
It's a good question. I don't. I guess I feel the same way about doing my music or making music in Houston as I do about just sort of being a human being here, you know, or making art here or doing anything here. And that's, I don't feel like I fit, you know, but I'm glad of that. I didn't phrase that right. I don't feel like I fit, but that makes more sense to me, because then I feel like I have freedom to be who I am, you know. If I fit, then I think it would be a thing probably where I would feel like, I wouldn't feel like an individual, you know. I wouldn't feel like my ideas are my own, you know. If I fit into a thing that other people were doing, then that's what other people are doing. Then that's who they are and not who I am, I guess. I think I've always liked Houston for that, and I've always liked cities like Houston for that are kind of a blank slate, that are kind of that don't have a character in and of themselves that's sort of oppressive, you know. And maybe some people find Houston to be oppressive because it doesn't have a lot of character, or it doesn't have a lot of, you know, a singular, you know, sort of identity. But I like that it doesn't, because that sort of allows me to have my own identity, you know.
I don't know, man. It was just a big joke, but it stuck. I don't know. I just always, at the time, I was driving. I was calling myself Cheese No Onions, right? And because I had an email that was Cheese No Onions. I was playing a show in New Orleans, and I was driving up there with a buddy of mine, and we were just joking around. And you know how everything's just like, we're at the, I guess about a year or two ago, everything was Falcons and Bears and no Eagles, but and then Wolves was a big one. Yeah, and then everything had, there's no vowels in anything, so I just thought it was cool and funny and Falcon fucker, and then we, you know, I bought the URL fuckmyfalcon.com like on the drive, like we were just like, and yeah, I don't know. And it's kind of like, I also had the idea that, you know, I had a friend and he was really bugging out on what to call himself. You know, that's always the thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna make music. I have some music. You know, what am I gonna? You know, they always try to make it some kind of like thing. You know, I was just like, well, if you're cool, if your music's good and people like it, whatever you call yourself will become synonymous with good. You know. So I was either going to become Falcon Fucker and people were going to go like, oh yeah, and accept it, or they're going to be like, what the fuck? You know? And so, yeah, and it seems to be okay for now. So that's what's up with Falcon Fucker. Yeah.